How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about LCID, Lucid Group. I know it's been a minute since I've given you guys an update, so let's jump into it. So before we get started, of course, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and this is very key, especially going into next week. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. Does Lucid have short squeeze potential? We're going to be finding out. And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, are institutions loading up on shares? Are they buying? Are they selling? What is going on the large scale orders? And then when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thoughts and as well as some details that includes an update. So let's jump to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Lucid Motors. So let's see how it performed on the day. So ended up closing at $23.38, being up 2.77%. On the low, it tested $22.80, and then on the high, testing $23.91. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see here we traded at 7.65 million shares, and as far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, it is at 11.966 million shares. So we did have below average volume, but one thing we do see, we still ended up being green on the day. So this means there was some buying, especially since it has been sitting on an area of support for quite some time. When we take a look at the RSI down below, you can see, whoa, it's right in the middle, right at 50. And as far as when we take a look at the price action, like I was saying before previously, the $23 level is a key area that we want to see Lucid actually hold. And there has been some times where it's broken through it. As you can see, we also did that today where it got to $22.80, but it was able to recover and be able to close at $23.38. So as long as it's able to hold up this $23 level, it can continue to have some strength, because if we continue to have that consolidation, of course we can look forward to seeing a move to the upside. So one thing that we have to take a look at now, as far as this $24 level, this is an area of resistance. So we ended up testing $23.91 on the day before being hit with some selling pressure. So we already know there's going to be a lot of profit takers in this particular area, especially with the conditions of the market that we are in. So closing at $23.38, this is why I keep saying, you know what, this is an achievement right here. If it does decide to pull back, you guys already know the certain levels that I'll be looking out for. And those levels would be at $20 or below. Is it going to be going there anytime soon? Probably not, but at the same time, I'm going to stick to the rules because that's where I want to buy it. But as far as price action is concerned, as long as we have consolidation and support in this particular area, this $24 resistance area, we should easily be able to actually break through it and see a move to the upside. And maybe it would take a catalyst or maybe the infrastructure bill to actually do this. And of course, some buying pressure coming into the stock. On Fintel, we're going to take a look at the short interest information for LCID Lucid Group. So as we scroll down on the page, the short shares availability is at 900, updated 7 minutes ago. And as far as for the short borrow free rate, it is at 85.10. So that is fairly high right there. Taking a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see here for August the 5th, it's at 40.65. On the 4th, it was at 36.94. And you can see here on the 3rd, it was as high as 56.96. So what does this tell us? Yes, Lucid has short squeeze potential written all over it. So if we have a lot of volume coming into the stock or a certain catalyst comes through, then we could see some very strong moves in overall price action. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on going into next week. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for LCID. So we could see here on the inflow, it was a 37.73, and on the outflow, it was at 39.64. we had 0 on the large, 22.18 on the medium, and 15.55 on the small. As far as for the large side, on the outflows, we had 2.51, and on the medium, 21.68, and as well as on the small, it was 15.45. So we ended up having an outflow day. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, August the 6th, being the outflow at 2,510.27, and the day before that, on the 5th, we ended up having an inflow day of 873.11, and the rest of the other days are zeros down the board. So it ended up being an outflow week, just to take that in mind when we accumulate everything all together. So what you want to look forward to going into next week, there's a lot of factors, and I will be talking about it inside of the final thoughts, but to give you a little quick briefing as far as taking the data that we saw in front of us, yes, there continues to be volatility after the business combination, and we also do know this is the time where many are also selling, and it also is a Friday as well, and it's been holding up areas as far as its price action, and many are involved when it comes to taking profits. We've seen it fluctuating continuously throughout the week, and day traders are not trying to hold this stock over the weekend. Let's be serious here. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for the Lucid group, there's some things we got to go over. The first update that I want to let you guys know, they opened up a new retail location in Scottsdale, Arizona. So we know as far as the cash that they have on hand, they are putting it to work, and things are going in the right direction. And this gives a lot of confidence to anyone who is a shareholder. So this is great to see. Also, when we went on Fintel, we could see as far as for the short interest information, it continues to have short squeeze potential. And even when we took a look at the short borrow fee rate being well over 80%, this is significant, and it's part of the reasons why you want to keep this on your watch list so you can see when those spikes do occur for this stock. There also is a lot, and I mean a lot of people who are comparing Lucid to Tesla. And of course, that is of no surprise. It's been going on for quite some time. But one thing we do need to remember, we have the infrastructure bill. So when that infrastructure bill ends up going through, Lucid will be able to benefit from this and many other EV plays as well. And I'm going to be looking forward to some sort of a resurgence. But one thing we have to keep in mind, they do not have any cars on the road at the moment, but when they do, if it ends up being a success, then I can see this stock price really taking off. But before that actually occurs, there's going to be continuous volatility, and I want to make sure you're aware of that. And if you are long on Lucid, and if the price does pull back, that's an opportunity where you could add to your position. Another thing we have to be aware of, we also saw the 10-year that was spiking today. So one of the things that I found very interesting, Lucid was able to actually hold itself up very well. We had stocks like Fisker that ended up really feeling the pain due to that spike. Where we see it actually recover going into next week, well, that's going to depend, because we had data that came out for today in regards to unemployment. And yes, it is a good thing for the overall economy, but at the same time for the stock market, this is not the most ideal. So many stocks, especially the stocks who are not generating profits, right? Because let's be honest here, they have no cars on the road to sell as of yet. These are the type of stocks that are usually being impacted by this because they have high valuations for their current stock price. And Lucid is one of them, and as well as many other EV plays as well. So I want you to keep this in mind and be aware of this, because you're going to be seeing a lot of fluctuations, especially as things progress. And of course, as we go into the month of September, which is known on record to be one of the most volatile and not the best months for the stock market overall in general. So keep an eye on that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.